na we
just mama na enkomo me boss so ewo graphic anim ene eye daily guide anim no ba me kwa homa ne so na obi a wono eye campaigner for say omampanyin bejatum parliament edisa anti-gay bill ye edebeba no mene no eni ho nkomo lawyer Moses Foh-Amoaning ewo ahoma so na yenko ikodi nkomo Kansa what me ka good morning and pom to saying
oh minya mejoso apomu ye nyankopon adumunti yegusu ye naduma
ya da twedi ampo ase ene nkwa wode adom yen so na enkomo a ye die ni yenkomo a for a very long time now e ban advocacy pa dia waje wo ho ehine mu ye pa se ene wo behwe se emre te sa no betimi aba na aboa yen family values a ye wo as a nation. How refreshing will it be, sir, and Opay president are making the greatest of assurance and they are mad the religious bodies, especially the Christian community, sir. What should say the way a graphic capture na obey assented to the anti-gay bill. Is that the right way to go?
Well, many are medwasi. Idika no mamenkase. I mekasa ma ekuba tanya yefeno. The National Coalition for Proper Human Sexual Rights and Family Values. Ekuno yetiye 2013 yetiye na Christian Council kaho Ghana Pentecostal and Charismatic Council ekaho na Calibisos Conference ya himfo ni ahima so etayechi ene Muslim for no so eka ye ho ndia na mekasa sebi ho Brazil mu anye menkwa mpedifo pi ya sofo mpedifo no edi anim na eme dese omo ene co president ho kotu nanim se sebi o de ekono onse wo ba 10 months wo ba wo campaign no no so ba che ade no bill no betu nanim a obe sign in fact onupo de no se old one no ba obe sign unfortunately it lapsed into ono de na adwene ne se obe man attorney general kwa the bill na ba na ye 10 months emba no obe kai last 2 weeks ye press conference ka se pa say parliament bi ye no we see bill no ya pass that we see ye pass that ensensem fortunately ye press conference na che na speaker no aka say bill no dey lapse so the old one will be the new one will be brought and to be processed.
Okay.
It yeah the president no atu na num to say e beto na nimu a obe sign it. But nya nye say aba beto anim no na obe sign it ko say abrewa ko adware a obe bawo na nintemu a ana me boa me nia.
Exactly.
Ko president no aka kire say only onya ya nka na attorney general e de beba. Attorney general is so yenim so what the bills fi aba under what we call certificate of agency. 11 months money away. Attorney General, me am in Nedin Como. Bill now, you pass here on the 28th of February 2024. No, come home. It's even Nedin Como. I'm giving 7 minutes last year, 1 hour. The woman you feel more, they need you, but with their shape, no, they are back. So that private members will require a better draw. Because on my non casa the bill no bar. Also, one of the reasons why Ghana fought to about boom MINDC, not the way a former president said you or yeah bill no but not Ghana for it didn't want to about boom MINDC, so it was on the ballot. It is a president cast Obama and Attorney General at the bar, maybe a number of one or so. Another reason is provisions to do with care, treatment, and support for Obia almost had to be animal, and even flexible sentencing policy. It's a passive bill, so Bakaya, we have in your market, a month or so, Casa, and then I'm modern Kofoko prison, and I'm bill no originally, your coalition, a draft, you know, there were provisions about care, treatment, and support. That will be. I was actually any moon here more. Yes, I was traveling now at Nico prison. So, because we hear more, in fact, your coalition, your hospital, Cassia, since 2020, 6th of March, and you launch a hospital, and go for Piaba,
okay.
Now, Essan said, what the private members bill bar, it will impose a cost on the exchequer. Okay, Attorney General, paper say Nuntino, private members bill, no problem. Attorney General at the public bill, but dear, it will not suffer that deficiency. It's here the near time, say President, Eberman Attorney General, Ediaba, and Suminia, 11 months, MI. It's the president. Ubasani Ajatum, Yadawasa Kasa, a former president, class, a bill, no, a Pasia, Omoyan Kukwasa, Udu Ubakaya, Okujina, something when him can say, the same sex marriage will never be in Ghana. I wanted to work as answer.
Exactly, those comments.
The university at the Wakasa, Dada, the best president. One far or share annual law. Nian Kayahu, Nayan pass a bill non tem, then free one amount for bill homo minia. Oh, the Hunsus are so many person, maybe people don't know. My mentity and being Wunim said last year. University of Ghana, year, a public university, no. Omoji to Musa Omode, your friends, transgenderism, Ebaba, adopted as part of the statute. University of Ghana, a public university, no. Sebio, vice chancellor, or bar, Bessia, Sebio, sorry, Penimu, on the council, no. Almost the same university statute, no, to admit of transgenderism, LGBT plus activities. Yantia here. And before you saw letter come on, Sebio, walk up respond to the letter, no. When we respond since last year. Yeah, press conference, the matters of fair officers, over the response, Beba. If the University of Ghana can say, look at the number of students there. You want to change the perception in the University of Ghana. Their course was secondary school, the Minia, Bosua, maybe you even have time. There are a lot of sports in Ghana, LGBTQ plus activities, course on the metro. Recently, so academy, teacher, one day, or country acquired the trauma, acquired a few, salty and a boy.
So, Council, I mean, these things are happen. Hello, Council Otomenka.
Yeah, me talk about.
Yes, maybe success. I mean, Coco so an educational institution. I mean, after the passage of this bill, no, how will we ensure Sasania may a bit me free an educational institutions? No, emo. Good
bill, no bar, and then a babwa because promotion advocacy. As our 18 professors is here, that bill will act, a personal president, here. It will abolish, it will make it easier for the police to enforce. Because there is no provision for attacking advocacy and sponsorship and all of that. We can only use it by interpreting the existing law. It's not too clear cut on the mission. So that we can stop the advocacy, we can stop the sponsorship, we can stop the recruitment of our children and the grooming on the mission. Now, your coalition input and yet bill no cry at what parliament you. Now, Mr. President, Yamano copy. Some constitutional amendment committee I said here, ya amend your constitution. Ya present the proposal to Professor Prempen and call for say. The party amend the constitution. Now, state to clear say LGBTQ plus activities are prohibited. Now, so be here more. Ya trust our proposal so that it will be in our constitution. No, it's be no. So even apart from the law, we want a constitutional amendment so that this thing will be clear. Then also the president said, then emphasize constitutional amendment. No, it's say Ghana for as I said, it was on the ballot. Say Ghana for LGBTQ plus. Unfortunately, the previous government were prevaricating on this matter. And no can be in Ghana for two about boom Emma NDC. It is useful that he propels the vision Ghana for the panel. It's an older article 1 of the Ghana your constitution. I will say all the powers sovereignty resides in the people of Ghana. So we all Ghana Ghana for one war. Now I am upon a president. Here they are parliamentarians. Now do more yeno. Ghana for. And for our well-being, which I name, and to the panel, panel, and there was a way Magana for the other president. What can you, but Messi no yan in tem, now yan pass a bill in tem, now constitutional amendment so baba, yan in tem, so that you bet me to Sadi, I say, yes, you are no kind.
95.1.
Mate, cancel, you better show him so bet me a studio. Now, you know what, proposals I war any clause by clause amendment, says Parliament need to make sure a year. Now, I feel it me corner, Nina yet me at the home and come. But in the interim, you better Attorney General, the honors of the Beba up. But Attorney General and Fashion, I'm sure, sir, you continue with the private member bill, not right?
Oh, no, private members bill, no, you be pushing the sana. Okay, I said, Ghana for a parliament to pass a private members bill, no, but media coming, Attorney General. But I trust this president. Meaning say obedi Ghana for number. Ebi a enche Attorney General and come in and come. Na Mijidi say he's a good man and he will do what Ghanaians want.
Very well. Mami and now I say now mami miss away and son wako Richard Sky claim our they call court, you know. Meaning say we dey kakra, right?
No, that's how Richard know him student too. Richard was one of my brightest students. In the case of the court, because in some no didn't answer the court, no. It the who ebu ni atipo classroom. And one him say preliminary objection bail no. Yeah, we say Article 1-2 or say you know if a person believes that anything done by or under an enactment. Bill is not an enactment. Richard Sky knew say action would take here, and it was going to fail on a preliminary objection. Because we are someone here our classroom, so he is aware. But there were other objections which he raised that court then deal with. Specifically in some fundamental human rights matters he was referring to. Then no, as I said, we have discussed some of these so-called human rights provisions. You cannot say that is a human right. Mr. What is studio way? Say Oka say would show egu asuma. Mr. Then he basi studio. Waka chere me. I'm not about that. Because it is not human for a human being to pour water into his ears. So you cannot enter through the exit. So that cannot be a human right. A human right means because of he has a problem. So if there's a medical challenge, you don't elevate it into a human right. So Richard Sky knows it. And I'm just saying that action was brought for a purpose. Maybe I can't say, oh, my man for oh, Yem court, Mendile, the president, when you can on Cobreo, na made the obey 18 December, and the Supreme Court of Boguye, and so me, madam for former president, Mr. The bill was signing it, one sign it,
yeah,
the Omo Okaso, concern cases they were caught in Ano, and Kosivia.
Very well. Some of the definitions and aspects of a year, how we are going to interpret on natural carnal knowledge. Ekwaya Nkrofo Faso, Obani Berman Kita Hudie, one fan of the rightful means near there. And Nkrofo also raised concerns some provisions like that. Bill Nim, especially blowjobs near there, Memani so Moya. Modi issues near the cancer also. Now you see on natural carnal knowledge, you know. Yes. I am a man who will fee. One of the these LGBTQ supported at the Supreme Court too, and on the 24th of July last year, Supreme Court no handles that issue, no. On Onua Article 104 a bra on natural carnal knowledge, you know. Exactly. Yes. And the Supreme Court ruled that that particular provision under in the Criminal Offences Act was constitutional. Exactly. Supreme Court they ruled on that issue. So you cannot say that on natural carnal knowledge, before no, the Supreme Court has ruled on that matter. In fact, Justice Kolendi Etonobo stated the history of this LGBT. That was not the basis of his ruling. Therefore, because it wasn't the ratio decidendi. But as someone let's say. Some no say Supreme Court judges no be say Ghana for no see it is not for anybody to dictate to us. Exactly. And those provisions, once it is identified as something which is offensive to Ghanaian law, it cannot be a human right. In fact, look at Article 12(2) of the Constitution. The human rights provisions are subject to two things: one, the public interest, and then the interest of other human beings. All the mention. Now, which Article 285, because a public interest, just say, that which will inure to the benefit of all Ghanaians. Now, Sebi, need more, Bema, Fabema, what the Sebi, need true, and also about Nasina, Obana, about Tafrenasia, Sebi, Grani, Bia, Sebi, or Yedan, will ye, meaning away, human right. Waka Jeremy.
na any kwa ne gini nya mabufo se bi ne ka ho no ogbo etie ne nimu minia why you are papa
Answer Adamenya o studio ni abeto your boss ni edi nkomo ni ye
because bi mu papa
yes because you be can you close by close na
yeah no anya no kwa anya human right ya
mate
wo mo se huru so
mate I don't pay me that nyamisha thank you and lawyer Moses Foh-Amoaning ana menene di nkomo no na